Well, guys, it's been a while since I made a video, but I am back. It's been a ton of different reasons as to why. I went to Alabama for a week to visit my brother. I just got back from a Minnesota trip visiting my fiance for her official graduation from PA school. That was pretty sweet, but long story short, you guys didn't know where I was at. It's been 3 weeks. We're officially back, and I'm excited to talk about the Cats. Folks, as of right now, and I guess the day you're watching this, it'd be 9 days away from Kansas State football. As I sit here recording it, it's 10 days away, and I'm excited to watch the Cats take on Iowa State in Dublin. I won't be there, but I'll be at home somewhere in the Kansas City area drinking a Guinness and wishing I was, because I don't have enough money, time. I just don't have things like that. I can't afford to go over to Ireland right now because I'm planning a wedding, doing a bunch of different stuff. Maybe one day we'll get there. Obviously, the Aer Lingus Classic is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime thing, but that's not what we're here to talk about in today's video. Today, I'm going to talk about some K-State recruiting, and there's a huge name you should know. If you don't already know the name, a four-star quarterback in the class of 2027, Braylen Warren is a player to have on your radar if you're a Kansas State fan. Now, this is a name I've been hearing about for a little bit of time. Things have been going increasingly better and better with Warren, and he's planning a visit to Kansas State in the near future. I don't know if it'll be during a game day visit or what the process is, but I've heard a lot of good things about this talented quarterback in the class of 2027. Now, to put this in perspective, I'll tell you his stats, I'll tell you his size, I'll show you some highlights, do a little bit of everything, but let me jump in with his college offer list before I get there. Now, keep in mind the kid's a sophomore in high school. He's pretty young. I believe he's heading into his junior season here soon. Now, he's coming off his sophomore season. The clips you're about to see are from his sophomore year, so keep in mind that the kid is young. He is heading into his junior year just now, and he's going to be a player to watch in the Omaha area. But let me read you his offer list because there's a ton of different teams featured. Now, hear me out on this. Arkansas, California, Cincinnati, Florida State, Illinois, Iowa, Iowa State, Kansas, Kansas State, Michigan State, Missouri, Oklahoma State, USF, Virginia, and Wisconsin. Now, there's been interest from Texas. There's been interest from Michigan. There's been interest from Nebraska. No offer yet, but the kid is a wanted man, and that's only going to continue as a junior. But let me tell you why I'm making this video, because it's one thing just to talk about a talented kid that I want to be at the Cats. If that were the case, we'd have a video every single day, and I'd say, hey, look at this kid. We want this kid. I try to wait till there's some type of bigger connection or something that I can tell you guys about if I'm going to jump into that process. So there is a bigger connection here that I do want to talk about in today's video, and that came from On3's Greg Smith, who gave his predictions for where some of the elite athletes in the upcoming class will go to college. Now, this is a piece On3 dudes do all the time. They do it for basketball for the top 5 stars. They do it for football here and there. Braylen Warren was one of the players featured in that list, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But let me read you his stats and his size before I get into the actual piece and prediction. Now, coming out of Westside High School in the Nebraska area, he's a 6'1", 180-pound quarterback. He currently checks in as a 4-star across every major recruiting service, including On3, which is now kind of rivals as well, and 24/7 Sports and a couple others. I don't really value ESPN. That said, the kid is checking it as the 217th ranked player on the 24/7 Sports Index, the 17th best quarterback in the country, and the second best player in the state of Nebraska. On3's numbers are fairly similar. He's about 5 spots ahead in the national rankings, being 212 nationally, 18th in terms of quarterbacks, and then the second best player in the state of Nebraska. In his 13-game sophomore season, he threw for 2,105 total yards, 30 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, so he takes care of the football, on 147 for 219 passing, completion percentage of 67.1% to clarify. He ran 48 times for 175 yards and 2 scores, and led Omaha Westside to a Nebraska's Class A's top playoff seed as a 12-1 record, and they finished their season as a runner-up at state. Now, like I told you, Greg Smith, the man himself, made a list. He's predicting a bunch of different kids in the class. This is what he had to say about Braylen Warren. There's a lot to like about the junior out of Omaha Westside in Nebraska. Braylen Warren's got a good frame that he's grown into and is a smooth operator inside the pocket. Kansas State, Missouri, and Wisconsin will get visits for sure this fall. Florida State, Iowa, and Iowa State could get him on campus too. But my commitment prediction is for Kansas State here. The relationship that Warren has with the Wildcats coaching staff is strong. The type of program coach Chris Kleiman runs in Manhattan also suits the son of a former NFL player. His prediction is Kansas State at a 40% confidence level, with the biggest threats being Iowa State and Missouri. That's awesome to see, and I'm fired up about it. Why wouldn't you want to play for Chris Kleiman? That's a question I ask myself all the time, but regardless, I'll give you some reasons why you want to play for the man himself. I'm not shocking you if you're a Kansas State fan. You're well aware of everything here. But Chris Kleiman has coached so many dudes to the NFL level, guys that maybe didn't necessarily enter their college programs with NFL aspirations. He has produced time and time again for elite quarterbacks coming out of high school, guys that commit to North Dakota State or Kansas State and show up and show out at the college level, then go on to have successful multi-year NFL careers. The first name on the board, you think about the high opportunity that he had coming out of an FCS school. How about a kid getting picked second overall in Carson Wentz? There's your first quarterback. Then you go Easton Stick, who's with the Chargers now, has had a long NFL career, goes after multiple national championships with Chris Kleiman. Then you talk about Trey Lance, a guy that hadn't played a ton at North Dakota State. That said, Trey Lance, another first-round NFL draft pick. That's 2 of 3 quarterbacks in a row that are taken in the first round and go on to have NFL careers. Then you look at Kansas State. He wasn't the guy that recruited him, so I'm not going to say that this was the process, but you look at this. You have Skylar Thompson, who was just balling out with the Pittsburgh Steelers in preseason, a guy that's carved out a 10-year NFL career after being a 7th-round pick at Kansas State. Someone that's been an unlikely player but has continued to wow and impress people along the way. Then you look at Will Howard, a guy that dedicated his life to Kansas State, obviously finishes it up at Ohio State. It was the way it worked out with Chris Kleiman, with Avery Johnson right behind him. You understood the process that was going to happen with Will Howard. Will then goes out and dominates, has a successful year, wins a national championship, and he's never once thrown K-State under the bus. He's never been a jerk about it. He's always been complimentary. I mean, there's a story up on the website at Heartland College Sports that I work for where Will Howard's talking about it with John Gruden saying, if I had a son, that's the guy I'd want to send my kid to play for. That is the best review you could get. And, you know, Will Howard went in depth talking about Chris Kleiman, how much he is, you know, a player's coach, a guy's guy, the dude you want to lead you, and said Kansas State developed me as a man. Obviously, I got more development at Ohio State as well, but Kansas State truly made me the player I am today. Here's the full quote from Will Howard. This is an awesome interview. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. It was sweet. It was Gruden's QB camp through Barstool. This is what Will Howard had to say. The dude is an absolute player's coach, 100%. He's a dude that you'd want to send your son to play for. He'll take care of you on and off the field, and he's going to push you to be the best person and player you can possibly be. I don't think the compliments get much better than that. That's an incredible thing. Then you see the kid right now, Avery Johnson. Avery's going to be an NFL player. No doubt in my mind, one of the most electric players in college football, and I cannot wait to see the impact he has this season. But then you look at Braylen Warren. You look at these guys that are coming up, and you say, this guy continues to get people to the NFL. Why don't more people come here? Let's go to Kansas State. Let's make this thing right. And I'm fired up for the kid. Obviously, there's still a lot of ways to go in the recruiting process and what's going to happen here and there, but Kansas State is a compelling destination, and the fact that you're in this battle, that's a great thing for Kansas State. It's a great thing for Braylen Warren as well. Now, his game is a little bit different. He's not a guy I would necessarily describe as a dual-threat player, though he does have some wiggle to him. He's athletic enough to outrun people, but not going to be the focal point of his game. The dude's ball placement, the pocket presence, those are his, his incredible attributes. Like, you see the way he's delivering the football, where it's a 45-yard throw off his back foot down the field, perfectly laid in the breadbasket. You can't ask for better production out of that kid. It is a beautiful thing to watch on film. I know you guys saw those highlights, and I'm fired up about it. If you commit to Kansas State, you get to a program that develops players from the start up. Doesn't matter if you're an unranked guy like DJ Giddens or if you're a 4 or 5-star guy like Dylan Edwards, Avery Johnson, Lincoln Cure. You're going to find your spot, and that is a huge thing. You think about the impact this kid could have as the next big quarterback to come through Kansas State. Obviously, you've got Blake Barnett, who's Colorado's all-time leading touchdown scorer in the high school level. You've got some promise. You've got some time. Dylan Duff's on the roster. There's going to be a time and place when you need the next quarterback commit. There's your guy. That's the guy you want to capitalize on. Braylen Warren is a name to know, someone to keep in your mind because I'm fired up to see what happens there. And obviously the recruitment's not going to get any easier. It never will. I'm sure more and more teams are going to come and offer the kid, but he is a special, special talent and someone that Kansas State fans everywhere would be absolutely elated to have on the roster. But that's going to do it for today's video. If you see the kid on social media, go send some love, comment, talk up his post, do whatever you can. Go reach out to the kid. I'm sure he's going to be someone that will continue to pop up on national radars. But for today's video, that is all I got for you today. And we'll talk again here soon. I'll catch you guys here the next couple days as we get closer and closer to football season. Have a great day and go Cats.